There is a debate brewing these days. I bet every one of you has heard at least a little bit about this topic. I am of course talking about the argument of creation versus evolution. Both of these theories talk about how life began. Wait, that's not right. Evolution has nothing to do with how life first arose on this planet. It is a theory that explains the diversity of life. The debate should be creation versus abiogenesis. Abiogenesis is a theory to explain how life came from non-life. I've read 4 articles that when the information from them is combined, I think it creates an extremely strong case for abiogenesis. In order for abiogenesis to be a viable theory, we need to find a self-replicating molecule. That molecule is RNA. RNA can make other self-replicating structures such as amino acids, well, I'll get into those later. John Sutherland of the University of Manchester has been able to recreate the conditions under which RNA can assemble itself from molecules in a solution. They combined the base components in water, heated the solution so it would evaporate. This created a substance of half sugar, half nucleobase molecules. They then added more water, heated it again, and irradiated it. At each of the different stages, the molecules became more complex until they eventually formed RNA. Sutherland says this process resembles Darwin's little warm pond theory. The team that conducted these experiments found the same base chemicals they used can be found in the dust clouds of space and on meteorites. According to Sutherland, ribonucleotides are simply an expression of the fundamental principles of organic chemistry, and they are doing it unwittingly. The instructions for them to do it are inherent in the structures of the precursor materials, and if they can self-assemble so easily, perhaps they shouldn't be viewed as complicated. The next article details the work done by the Scripps Research Institute, where they created self-replicating RNA enzymes. The enzymes are capable of replicating themselves without needing the aid of proteins and other cell components. The scientists mixed different RNA enzymes that replicated with the raw materials needed to build more RNA. The RNA strands had to compete with the other strands for the raw materials needed to build RNA. Once in a while, a strand would combine with a molecule that it hadn't before, and this would lead to a mutation. The mutated strands would also be replicated, and the best suited strand grew in number to dominate the experiment. In the article, Tracy Lincoln was quoted on her amazement on how non-living structures were able to show lifelike properties, and Professor Gerald Joyce said what they found could be relevant to how life began. The third article is related to the experiments done by Stanley Miller. He is famous for his experiment regarding amino acids created by lightning combining with Earth's early atmosphere. His experiment was of course branded as more of a proof of concept experiment when researchers found that his estimations of Earth's early atmosphere makeup were inaccurate. Well, he conducted a similar experiment dealing with the gases that gather near volcanoes. With the gases and violent volcanic activity, lightning is a common occurrence. One experiment found when lightning strikes the gas near volcanoes, amino acids are produced. He didn't discuss this experiment because he considered it to be a failure, but it was later re-examined by Jeffrey Botta and his research team, and they found that Miller's volcano experiment created no fewer than 22 different amino acids. The fourth article is related to research done in Japan that focuses on how meteors could have aided in creating life on Earth. 4 billion years ago, iron and carbon-rich meteorites struck Earth's oceans that were rich in ammonia. Shortly afterwards, life began. They recreated this by firing iron and carbon pellets at 4,500 miles per hour into water containing ammonia. They found the reaction created fatty acids, amines, and an amino acid called glycine. Amines are the base components of amino acids, and fatty acids are the components of cell walls. Scientists have found that the building blocks of life have been created by simulating volcanic eruptions, drying ponds, hydrothermal vents, and now the collision of chondrite meteorites with Earth's early oceans. This is relevant because on a website about observed instances of speciation, a species was found to evolve from another species, and this was observed in multiple instances in separate areas. That is why I strongly believe from the evidence I was presented, not only is abiogenesis a plausible theory to explain the origin of life on Earth, but it is the most probable theory. Again, please feel free to argue, comment, and discuss this topic with me and each other. I am 3D, and I hope this was informative.